It's Election Day in America. We're on your side with everything you need to know in this final hour of polls being open. And a baby kidnapped out of Georgia found safe in Pearl. How a hotel employee was the key to the rescue.
70s for now, but not for long. A chill this weekend, even a bigger chill next week. I'm tracking it for you coming up.
WLBT, 3 on your side. WLBT News starts now.
It's Election Day in America, and if you have not voted yet, you still have about an hour left until the polls close. 3 on Your Side is bringing you team coverage tonight with live reports and updates on Mississippi races, including a tightly contested U.S. Senate special election. Well, a surge of voter turnout across Mississippi could indicate 2018 is the year young voters show up for the midterm election. 3 on Your Side's Reggie Marion talked with some young voters today, and he's live at a polling location at Jackson State University, kicking off our Decision 2018 team coverage.
Yeah, Maggie, millennials are hoping to prove that they do come out for midterm elections because typically it's older voters that have the biggest turnout in non-presidential elections. Now, earlier today, I did get a chance to speak with the executive director of Mississippi Votes, and that's an organization that's ran by millennials. And they tell me that this year they registered 2,000. They registered to vote 2,000 people between the ages of 18 to 35 this year. And they say that they don't care whether a candidate is Democrat or Republican. They say that they're motivated by the political climate and generational issues.
Like, we want to know what you stand for, what you believe in. Are you going to move the state of Mississippi forward? And are you going to produce jobs that reduce the brain drain in Mississippi and keep us here? Because we want to stay.
Now, Secretary of State Deborah Holzman has reported a bigger voter turnout this year compared to previous years. Now, once the polls close and the results start coming in, millennials tell me that they hope that it is them that is causing that big turnout. Live from Jackson State, Reggie Marion, 3 on Your Side.
Mississippi's Republicans are hoping they can maintain control of the state's 2 Senate seats. Courtney Ann Jackson joins us live from the Westin Hotel, where the incumbent and appointed senator will be hosting their watch parties.
That's right, Maggie. We are talking about Senator Roger Wicker and Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith. Both of these candidates are candidates who have been endorsed by Governor Phil Bryant and by President Donald Trump. Donald Trump coming to campaign in North Mississippi for Cindy Hyde-Smith just at the beginning of October there. She's hoping that that support will resonate with voters. As far as these 2 candidates, the quick recap: Roger Wicker, having held that seat since 2007, he's being challenged this go around by Democrat David Beria, who's currently the House Minority Leader in the Mississippi House of Representatives. Cindy Hyde-Smith is looking to serve the remainder of Thad Cochran's term after his retirement earlier this year. She's been in that role as an appointed senator, and she's hoping to maintain it tonight. She has 3 challengers: Mike Espy, Chris McDaniel, and Toby Bartee. Now, we are in that final hour of voting now, or less than an hour, that is. But yesterday, in those final few hours and days, we talked with the State Republican Party Chairman Lucian Smith about the final get out the vote efforts. He was knocking on doors and making calls all the way through the day.
Very proud that we've made to date over 300,000. We've knocked on over 300,000 doors. We've made over 625,000 phone calls since August 1st, and we're going to keep on pushing until the polls close.
Now, the party has been focused on getting out the vote and motivating voters to turn out today, but they say they will, of course, reset if need be for the next 3 weeks if a runoff is needed in that Senate special election, the one that Cindy Hyde-Smith is a candidate within. We will have the latest from here with the Mississippi GOP hosting Cindy Hyde-Smith and Roger Wicker. For now, live at the Westin, Courtney Ann Jackson, 3 on Your Side.
The other Republican running in the U.S. Senate special election is Chris McDaniel, and McDaniel cast his vote today in Ellisville for the midterm election. McDaniel made the stop just before 4:30 at George Harrison Multipurpose Center to vote. Alongside him, his wife and his 2 children.
He said, "Do not let them."
Meanwhile, Democrats are hoping to make history by sending U.S. Senate candidate Mike Espy to Washington. After 20 years out of the political spotlight, he's hoping to replace longtime Republican Republican U.S. Senator Thad Cochran. His campaign has garnered national attention. Patrice Clark is following this race. She joins us live from the Hilton on County Line Road in Jackson.
Yeah, Maggie, it's the day Mike Espy and his team have been waiting for. Yes, the big election day. Now, soon people will be flooding in here to support him. The watch party starts at 7. If you look behind me, they're still setting up for the party. It's expected to be an exciting night here. Now, back in 1986, Espy became the first African-American to win a congressional seat since Reconstruction. He also served as the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture. Now, Espy believes with all that experience, he is the best man for the job. He has been all over the state getting his name and record of success out to voters. Now, the Yazoo City native says he has a strong desire to make Mississippi a better place to live, and he wants to attract more companies and jobs to Mississippi. And he also wants to improve infrastructure, especially in the city of Jackson.
And my first bill in 1986 as a freshman in Congress was an infrastructure bill called the Lower Mississippi Delta Development Act. We wrote it, it passed the House of Representatives, it passed the U.S. Senate, and it was funded, and President Ronald Reagan signed it into law. So I told Mayor Lumumba earlier today, should I be elected, and hopefully we will be, my intention is that my first bill as U.S. Senator will be a similar type of infrastructure bill to help the citizens of Jackson and others around the state of Mississippi.
Now, Espy is being endorsed by some key figures, including Senator Cory Booker, and the Congressional Black Caucus. Again, the party starts at 7 p.m. People will soon be rolling in, and we will be here throughout the evening. Reporting from Jackson, Patrice Clark, 3 on your side.
U.S. Congressman Benny Thompson running for re-election in the 2nd Congressional District. He is at his downtown Bolton headquarters waiting for the polls to close as he seeks a 13th term in office. Voters in his hometown and across the country have been turning up at the polls. 3 on your side's Rosalind Anderson is live in Bolton with more.
The lone Democrat in the Washington delegation from Mississippi hopes to return to D.C. Now, we are at the Bolton Fire Station. We have some video earlier of voters. We are told that the turnout is extremely high. At this point, more than 730 people have voted, and that is from a voter registration of over 1,200 people. Now, when we spoke with Congressman Thompson, he said that voters have told him the reason that they were turning out was to preserve Social Security and health care, and in response to many of the things that are going on nationally. After work, we've seen a lot of people come in. The lines are getting longer. We spoke also with a voter who said he wanted to come cast his ballot immediately after getting off work.
I grew up in a family of politics, and my father was the first black man on board here in Bolton, on the board of aldermen here in Bolton. And then the next year, I think Mayor Thompson come along with this young man right here. And I just grew up in it.
Congressman Thompson faces independent Troy Ray and Reform Party candidate Irving Harris. That's the latest from here in Bolton. Rosalind Anderson, 3 on your side.
He made a strong showing in the primary, taking over 45% of the vote. District Attorney Michael Guest is the Republican candidate for the 3rd Congressional District. Guest is running on conservative values and a career as a tough prosecutor, hoping to fill the seat vacated by Representative Greg Harper. Tonight, David Kenny is in Brandon at his party headquarters with the latest.
Yeah, we're here at Mudbugs in Brandon, which will be the party headquarters for Michael Guest this evening. This was the same place he was in the primary where he ran away with 45% of the vote. He's hoping that luck rubs off on him in this general election. Guest filled out his own ballot this morning. This morning we got exclusive video of him as he voted at his precinct in Brandon. His campaign message has included protecting the life of the unborn, a strong national defense, and keeping our Second Amendment gun rights and other individual rights and liberties guaranteed. Guest says the base of his campaign is one built on conservative values and his Christian faith. He says he believes in limited government with lower taxes and fewer regulations. He told us today that he supports President Trump on his stance on immigration, but wants to expand policies and secure our borders.
next step would then be to follow that up with changes or modifications to our current existing immigration system. Let's expand programs such as the H-2A visa, the H-2B program, where we allow individuals to legally enter the country so that they can work on a temporary or seasonal basis.
Guest has been district attorney in Madison and Rankin counties for the last 10 years and was assistant DA for 12 years before that. He says he believes his experience as a prosecutor will help him if elected in Washington, and he hopes to represent the people of Mississippi greatly. He also told me this afternoon that he is pretty confident looking at the voter turnout. He says the more voters that turned up at the polls, he believes he has a better chance of winning this race. We'll have live updates for you throughout the evening from here in Brandon. For now, in Brandon, David Kenny, 3 on your side.
All right, David, thank you so much. It was a great day as far as weather is concerned. Here's Chief Meteorologist Dave Roberts now with your first alert forecast.
Weather's still in favor of the voters, Maggie, because you got about another 45 minutes and some nice weather out there. Here's how we're looking over downtown Jackson currently, but we have big changes about to take place. In fact, rainy and turning colder over the coming days. But if you voted today for colder weather, guess what? You're probably going to wind up with it. A frost this weekend, maybe even some freezing temperatures next week. I'm tracking all these changes for you coming up.
Next at 6, a man in custody tonight after a missing baby from Georgia is found in a Pearl hotel. How hotel staff behind that rescue.
That's all.
Skycopter and WLBT News. 3 on your side.
The Patty Peck Honda Used Car Super Center needs your trade, so they're giving you top dollar during their trade-in and trade-up sales event. Plus, you get Patty Peck's fully insured lifetime powertrain warranty with your premium pre-owned purchase. Shop PattyPeckHonda.com.
A missing 8-week-old baby is now in safe hands after the quick thinking of a hotel employee. 3 on your side's Nick Ducote has details out of Pearl.
At 11 o'clock last night, Pearl police responded to a call at a hotel where an employee says a guest was acting strange with a baby. According to Pearl police, Michael Christopher Diaz checked into this Ramada hotel, was seen with the 8-week-old baby, smelled of marijuana, and checked out in handcuffs. Pearl police say that the baby was reported missing by Dallas, Georgia police, with the car Diaz was driving also reported stolen.
Mom antennas went up with was that he was giving the baby the wrong milk. And with it being an infant, any dad knows you're not supposed to give an infant regular milk. A lot of little things, like I said, that kind of just didn't look right for even with dads. I've known dads to travel with kids, but things that he was doing, it just set off our antennas.
Tawana Newsom says that when police arrived, she was the one who negotiated with Diaz and was given the baby. Diaz then put up a small fight with police and was tased for his safety.
They began negotiations with the suspect through the door. There was some reluctancy for him to surrender or even allow the child to be handed over to us. Through more intense negotiations, we actually involved the clerk that called so that the situation didn't escalate, as well as for the safety of the child too. That was our number one concern and priority, was that 8-week-old being reunited with her mother and safely taken out of a very, very harmful situation.
According to Dallas, Georgia police, Diaz is the non-custodial father of the child. He also just got out of jail this past weekend. In Pearl, Nick Ducote, 3 on your side.
Hope you're enjoying the 70s on this election day, because they're not going to stick around for long. My forecast coming up.
Plus, storm damage in North Mississippi. A possible tornado passes through Tupelo overnight.
This is WLBT First Alert Weather.
Alpha Insurance cam over downtown Jackson. Partly cloudy skies. You got about 40 minutes to head to the polls if you want. The weather's in your favor. 61 right now. It's comfy out. We were 75 today. That's still above normal for this time of year. Embrace it. Cling to it, because the weather is going to change over the coming days. Right now, not so much, but we do have some showers that are stalling in the Gulf. This is part of the moisture that is going to start building back in our direction, and eventually we're going to have a chance for rain, maybe as soon as tomorrow morning. In fact, overnight tonight, look at the clouds reaching returning, and 6 a.m. temperatures here will put us at around 63 in Jackson, 67 in Natchez. Scattered showers tomorrow. Don't be concerned about severe weather, but you might hear a rumble of thunder. We're going to be in the 60s and 70s across the area. Eventually, the cooler air is going to start to sink in later in the day, so 3 p.m. temperatures might actually be a little bit cooler than what you feel at noon. We're going to be looking at upper 70s around Macomb, 70 in Natchez and Vicksburg, but 60s for Kosciuszko and Belzona. And from there, it only goes in one direction. Don't forget our free First Alert weather app always has additional weather information for you 24 hours a day. 7 days a week. So your forecast for tonight, we're going to be looking at 60s out there. We'll make it down to about 63 at 7 a.m. A 40% chance for showers, a 50% chance for rain at noon, 72, and about a 40% chance through the afternoon. You get the idea. It's going to be an unsettled day, and eventually temperatures will start cooling off by tomorrow evening. Get used to seeing some rain over the next few days, as a matter of fact. Got a decent chance Thursday, and again Friday. Saturday looks dry, but there's a little catch. Sunday, a slight chance for showers, another chance for rain come the beginning of next week. Your 7-day forecast shows you 73 tomorrow before temperatures start getting cooler in the afternoon. Thursday, only 62 with a chance for rain. Then we come to Friday. The good news for Friday is that Friday night football will be relatively dry. A 20% chance for showers as the game kicks off, but it's going to be on the chilly side. Upper 40s and low 50s out there. Then the weekend comes around, and again, Saturday looks to be the better day of the weekend, but we are looking at some downright cold temperatures this weekend. A possible frost Saturday morning, 36, then only 55, even with the sunshine on Saturday. 37 on Sunday morning, about 58 in the afternoon, a 20% chance for some showers later in the day. And then we have to talk about the weather that's coming in next week, because some of the coldest weather, no, strike that, the coldest weather of the season is headed our way. This weekend, we'll have temperatures close to freezing in some spots when it comes to Saturday morning. Not so bad when it comes to Sunday morning, but when it comes to the middle of next week, well, that's where some really cold temperatures start to come in. We could be going below freezing across most of the area come the middle of next week, with temperatures well below freezing in the 20s around Vicksburg, even as far south as Macomb. It is a potential by the middle of next week. Not so uncommon, but this will be a big shock to our system. All indications are we're moving into a cooler weather pattern that's probably going to last for several days next week, with overnight lows in the 30s and highs in the 50s.
A tornado touched down in a Tupelo neighborhood overnight, leaving serious damage. Powerful storms moved through the area last night, knocking down trees and power lines. Roofs were blown off houses, and for some others, nothing was left standing but the walls. Large poles were blown through walls, and trees, as we said, were downed. And at one house, a mailbox narrowly missed a sleeping 2-year-old girl in a crib when it was blown through a bedroom window. The storm also caused some damage to businesses in the Barnes Crossing Mall area and to an assisted living home in Saltillo. Next at 6, we'll have more of your Decision 2018 coverage. Stay with us. We will be on your side throughout the night, keeping you up to date with the latest on Election Day results. To recap some of the biggest races, 4 candidates running in a special Senate election. They are Republican Cindy Hyde-Smith, Democrat Mike Espy, Republican Chris McDaniel, and Democrat Toby Bartee. Incumbent Senator Roger Wicker is running for re-election against Democratic opponent David Beria. And in the 3rd Congressional District for U.S. House of Representatives, Republican Michael Guest and Democrat Michael Ted Evans are on the ballot. Now, you can find results across the bottom of your screen as they start coming in tonight. We will also have live updates every 30 minutes here on WLBT. Our election coverage begins tonight on Fox 40 News at 9. And of course, you can always stay up to date on our website, WLBT.com. Dave Roberts back now with another check on weather.
Cooler weather must have been on the ballot today, Maggie. I must have missed that, but overwhelmingly, if that's what you voted for, you're going to wind up with it, because while we'll be in the 70s tomorrow, that's it for a while. I mean, a long while. We're only going to be in the 60s on Thursday, some 50s on Friday, and then it's 50s for a while for daytime highs. But next week, we could be seeing a frost or freeze on a couple of mornings.
I guess everybody's ready for some colder weather.
I guess they need to be.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Entertainment Tonight is next.